First of all, well done. I'm so excited you clicked on this video, and here's why. If you stay until the end, you will know the three most important things that you need to know from a financial perspective to run a profitable coaching business. And I can promise you, it's not going to make your head spin. And it truly is not going to be looking at financial statements, believe it or not. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Amber Duggar. I'm the founder of Profit for Keeps, a framework that helps coaches and online business really get clear on both personal and business cash flow and finances. And so in today's video, we're going to talk all about three main things you want to know. So when I first started out as a coach, I was a health coach, graduated from IIN, and I knew that I needed to make money. I needed to make money so I could pay my bills, but I also knew that I needed to cover my taxes. I knew that I needed to cover my business expenses. And even with a degree in business and finance and coming from the finance world, it still was overwhelming. So know that I fully understand that this subject can feel a little bit but I'm going to make it fun for you. So the very first thing, make sure to get out your notebook because you're going to want to take notes on this. The very first thing that you want to know in any business, let alone a coaching business, is how much money do I need to make to pay myself to cover my bills, to hold aside money for taxes, to have enough money for the business expenses for the model of business that I'm running, and on top of that, still be profitable. Well, that's all about reverse engineering a revenue goal. And I make it very, very easy for you. So there's a link below to our free calculator. You can go to amberduggar.com/calculator. And in there, you're going to input 4 key things. The very first thing you're going to put in is how much you want to pay yourself on a monthly basis. So this will be all dependent on what your current situation is. If you have a partner that's contributing to the finances, then it may be a portion of your finances. If you are on your own and you are paying all of the different expenses, then you want to list all of your expenses and have an idea of, okay, this is how much I would love to be able to pay myself on a monthly basis, excluding taxes. Okay. So that's the first number for a revenue goal. The second number for a revenue goal is how much your monthly business expenses are. So looking at your business expenses, jotting them down, of course, getting rid of any that you're not actually using or that aren't serving you. But once you get a very clear list, then that's going to be the business expense portion. Now, the 2 other pieces of information you need for your revenue goal, you can just guess at this point, but eventually you will want to speak to your accountant to make sure that your tax situation isn't unusual. But for most of my clients in the US, 20% for your taxes of all revenue coming in, this is not your tax rate. So any accountants that are watching this, it's not your effective tax rate. It's just the total amount that you're going to take off the top when revenue comes in. So if you have $1,000 coming in, then you'd put $200 aside for taxes. That is quite conservative, and typically you always get a return from yourself when you do that. I am a master level Profit First professional, so I do follow components of Profit First and our framework Profit for Keeps. And that is one of the key things, is putting aside money for taxes. So 20% is a conservative number for the US. If you're in Canada or Australia, you may want to up it to 25%, or the UK as well. But again, this is not tax advice. I purposely did not become a CPA. And so you will want to check with your accountant on that. And then the final piece would be your profit percentage. The lower you have, the lower your revenue goal is going to be. The higher you intend to have profit, the higher your revenue goal is going to be. Now, remember, this is not profit that's traditionally defined. It's profit that you would actually have in the bank after you pay yourself, after you pay your business expenses, after you pay your taxes. There's still money left aside. And that is the magical component of Profit First that I love the most, which is intentionally putting aside extra money so that you start to build a savings buffer in your business. So number 1, revenue goal. And I just listed the 4 things you need to know to get that revenue goal. Once you have those pieces of information, go to my calculator, figure out what your goal is, and that's going to be your monthly goal. This is a game changer because once you know what your revenue goal is, then you can start looking at, okay, well, how much money is coming in this month? And how do I compare against my revenue goal? Now, This may feel a little bit daunting. I totally understand. So you may want to do is after you do your revenue goal, go out on a walk or take a bath or do something really nice for yourself and allow your brain to just kind of integrate the information that you just gave yourself. Because the amazing thing about having a very clear revenue goal is that you then can say, never thought of this, but I could do this and this could make that amount of money. Or you start to get different ideas. So just trust that you are divinely supported. You will definitely be able to figure this out. It's just all about looking at it from different perspectives. Okay. So the revenue goal is number one. The second thing is having a very clear forecast of what it is that you are going to be bringing in month to month over the next 6 to 12 months. I use a spreadsheet that we use in Profit for Keeps, but you can simply just take a Google sheet and go month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, starting with the current month, and just start listing out your current revenue streams right now. If you have clients on payment plans, this is a really great way to keep track of that by putting their name and then putting the amount of money that they're paying each month. If you don't have them on automated billing, you definitely want to make an investment in getting that set up. Moonclerk is an amazing option. There's a link below for you to use Moonclerk. It's one of my favorite options for automated building, but that's another video as well. So, all right. So we've now gone through 2 of the 3. First one, revenue goal. Second one, revenue forecast. The third and final piece, it's just really essential. And this is something that even my 8-figure clients are still looking at on a regular basis. They're looking at their revenue goal. They're looking at the amount of money that's coming in and the difference between those two. That gap is what is needed to be able to run the profitable, sustainable business. So if you have a $20,000 a month revenue goal and you're hitting $18,000, then you know that you want to make a minimum of an extra $2,000 a month. So that's when you can start asking yourself, what are the key actions that I can do to help bridge that gap, to close that gap, to exceed my revenue goal? We're not going to exceed our revenue goal every single month. Now we can hustle and do that, but that's not the point of this. The point is to really be able to pay yourself consistently, even with variable income. So when you're looking at that gap, you can, of course, look, if you've been using the system for a while, you can say, okay, I made an extra $8,000 last month, so that's going to cover me for the next 3 months if I don't make any additional money. Or you can also be looking at it from a perspective of, I want to build a buffer, so I'm going to aim to exceed my revenue goal for the foreseeable future until I build up that buffer. So the actions that you can take are, if you're running a boutique business and you are doing one-on-one coaching, you can say, okay, well, $2,000 a month is less than one client, or it's one client. And so you can start thinking, well, how many sales calls do I typically need to do to get that client? And then you can start making a list of the amount of sales calls that you want to perform in the next couple of weeks to make that happen. This is a very simplified version, but it's honestly the 3 key things that I wish I had known when I first started out is revenue goal, forecast, and then the actions taken to bridge that gap. That will change your financial life. I guarantee it. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the comments below. I'm so grateful you're here. If you found this helpful, please do consider liking and subscribing. It helps so much get this video in front of other people. And if you haven't yet joined our free community, please go ahead and join us over there. It's a lot of fun. It's amberduggar.com/community. I'm so grateful you're here. I'm so grateful that you are choosing to empower yourself with financial knowledge. That is making the world a better place. The financial industry has failed us, the educational system has failed us, and we now are taking this upon our own hands to empower ourselves with this information so that we can settle our nervous system and really enjoy life, because that's why we started a business in the first place. All right, until next time, thanks so much. Talk soon.